Knocked those guys out in featherweight before, and he did it. And he did it, and he made it look easy. And with Ilia, it's everything. It's his submissions, his kicks, his punches, everything. He can do anything. I mean, he does everything perfect. All his technique is perfect. He's fucking driven and ultra confident.
Ele é cara perigoso, nocauteou o Max Holloway, né? Na última luta dele, então é um cara que é perigoso, né? Tem um jiu-jitsu que todo mundo fala que é bom, ainda ele não usou no UFC.
I think Ilia, man. I think he's going to be way undersized against Charles. I just don't, unless Charles can sub him, maybe if he hurts him, but it's going to be tough, I think.
With just 8 days remaining until the highly anticipated clash between Ilia Topuria and Charles Oliveira at UFC 317, excitement is reaching a fever pitch. Joe Rogan recently shared a shocking breakdown of the matchup, highlighting the stakes and tension surrounding the bout. Meanwhile, Oliveira views this fight as part of his destiny, a moment he believes was always meant to happen. When asked whether Topuria has shown him the same respect, Oliveira replied he doesn't think so, noting that Ilia has done a lot of talking. However, he's not fazed. Oliveira is confident the truth will be revealed inside the cage on June 28th. As for how he plans to win, he's not fixated on a knockout or submission. His focus is on getting his hand raised. To him, this victory is already written, just another step in cementing his legacy in the sport.
Do you feel like he's given you that same respect in the lead up to this fight?
No, definitely not. He didn't treat with the same respect. Man, I don't know. He's been saying a lot, but the fact of the matter is we're going to find out on June 28th. Everyone knows who the real champion is.
You talk a lot about legacy. You mentioned it multiple times. What is the best way to win this fight for your legacy? Is it to knock out Ilia? Is it to submit him? Is it to dominate him for 5 rounds? What is going to be the best result for Charles Oliveira's legacy?
I just want to win. You know, that it's meant to be. It's already written.
On a recent podcast, Joe Rogan shared his thoughts on the upcoming fight between Ilia Topuria and Charles Oliveira, calling it a phenomenal moment in UFC history. He believes MMA is entering a thrilling and unpredictable new era. Rogan praised Topuria for knocking out 2 of the greatest featherweights ever, something no one else had achieved in the division, and noted how effortless Topuria made it look, showcasing his elite skill and danger. Rogan added that it's an exciting time for the sport, with fresh talent entering the UFC and already performing like world-class contenders after just 1 fight.
Ilia Topuria, who's fighting Charles Oliveira at the end of the month, like that guy is insane. That guy's knocked out 2 of the greatest featherweights of all time, Volkanovski and Max Holloway. Nobody could knock those guys out in featherweight before, and he did it. And he did it, and he made it look easy. You know, he made it look like they're like he's just on another level from everybody. You know, and then now he's moving up to 155 pounds. He's like decided he cleared out that division. He's moving up. Like he's
insane. Yeah,
insane. There's guys like that are just so their level is above everybody else's level. And with Ilia, it's everything. It's his submissions, his kicks, his punches, everything. He can do anything. I mean, he does everything perfect. All his technique is perfect. He's fucking driven and ultra confident. You know, this is an amazing time for the sport, man. It's a crazy time because these guys that are coming in with like 1 fight in the UFC, they look like world-class contenders. Like Oliveira's a monster. People think of Oliveira as not being a monster because there's times that people have beaten him, but he got better. You got to accept that and not think of like when he lost.
Because so many people, well, who gets better at 35?
I don't believe he's 35.
No?
I think he's 33, and I also think that he got into the UFC when he was 20. But he came into his own over the last few years, which kind of makes sense. Like he figured it out. And so part of the problem was like he was learning and developing and growing as in an elite organization.
Quite fight week just yet, but it feels like it. You're here in Las Vegas, so how exciting is this for you? I mean, headlining International Fight Week, it doesn't feel like it was that long ago. You were just getting into the UFC, and now you're at the top of the sport.
Very happy to be able to headline this kind of event. I remember I fought once in the preliminary cards in the International Fight Week. Now that I have the chance to headline this event, I'm very happy and very excited.
You've clearly won a title before, you've defended a title before, but now going for a second title, is the mental challenge, is the thought process, the feeling, is it any different than those other championship matchups you've already had?
This is the happiest I ever have been in my training camps because of the weight cut. I have been able to enjoy the whole process, and I feel ready, man. I don't know, I think you guys are not even expecting to what you're gonna see on June 28th.
So a lot of us think like, you know, a move to a weight class, it's just the weight cut, it's just that week. Are you saying that you think this weight class change has changed everything for you and how you've been able to prepare moving into this fight?
Everything, because at the end of the day, that 10 pounds makes a lot of difference, you know, in my life. Because before I had to be like for 12 weeks cutting the weights. I haven't been able to enjoy like anything because I have to be like professional at the same time in the fight game and also in the nutrition part. So this time I have been able to enjoy the whole process and I'm very happy.
As happy as you are, is there any sadness that you don't get the opportunity to be the simultaneous champ? You know, the one belt over each shoulder, that classic iconic image. Are you sad that you don't get to try to accomplish that?
I don't care. Anyways, I'm gonna put the both belt in my shoulders.
Charles Bronx Oliveira is an exciting fighter and he is one of the best in the division and one of the most exciting. But it's the exciting style that he has that would give me cause for concern if I was coaching Charles Bronx Oliveira. The way that he walks forward like a buzzsaw with reckless abandon, the not giving a damn attitude, it's beautiful to watch. It's very, very entertaining. Nobody will be booing when Charles Oliveira fights, okay? But it's that reckless style that might get him clipped. Charles Oliveira, as we know, he's got the most bonuses, most finishes, most 5 minutes later, right? The man's excitement personified, but he takes a lot of chances. Ilia Topuria, on the flip side, he's clean, he's composed, he's calm, he's in the moment, the hands are high, the base is low, the head is moving constantly, and he's looking at his opponent. He's tracking him down across the octagon. He's using the feet to corral him against the fence. He's looking for openings, and then he explodes. And when he explodes, we know he's got big power. He might explode the chin of Charles Oliveira. Whereas Charles Oliveira, on the flip side, with the shooter box style, he's walking forward, the head's on a straight line, and he's just, the chin's a little up. He's throwing knees, he's throwing elbows, he's throwing everything but the kitchen sink, and we absolutely love it. But that's got him in trouble.
That's heart versus brain right there. Your heart says Charles, your brain says Ilia. Ilia moving up. I don't think he's going to be... The reason you don't move up for the most part is because you don't want to... People are stronger. Physically, just a lot stronger. I don't think that's going to be the case in Ilia versus Charles. I don't think Ilia's going to... Charles is going to be that much stronger, but he's going to... His frame's quite a bit bigger. But Ilia's got... He's probably his whole life been fighting people that are bigger because he's 5 foot. He's not a big stature guy. So I don't think that's going to necessarily be an issue.
Charles, he just stands so high. He has like this Muay Thai stance. He marches forward with knees. He whips head kicks. Both the guys like to come forward and back the person up. So they're going to collide. And there's ways. Ilia's so short. He tilts his head. He ducks his head. There's ways those knees could line up very easily and drop Ilia Topuria. But again, the way he stands so tall and the way Ilia punches to the body so well and then hides him and comes up top.
What if Charles got a head kick knockout on Topuria?
I mean, I wouldn't.
Little switch, bank.
Wouldn't be that surprised.
Right?
I just wouldn't. But that's gonna be a banger.
I typically look at, when you get two guys like these two that are very, very good, then you start looking at their defensive responsibilities and who has the larger deficiency. That's 100% Charles Oliveira. He's so hittable. Yeah. He loves to fight into wars. Ilia Topuria does not engage in bullshit. He's super crisp, very, very clean boxer, but goes to the body well, leg kicks really well, so strategic and so well thought out, and has an incredibly high fight IQ. I just don't know how Charles Oliveira stays safe in any kind of striking range, fighting the way that he fights with Ilia Topuria. I just think that he's going to get hit hard. He's going to get hurt. And I don't know that he can take down Ilia Topuria. And if he did, I don't know that he would out-grapple him.
Who do you think wins, Ilia or Charles? interesting matchup. The both guys has changed. Like if Ilia hit Charles Oliveira head, so he can knock him down for sure. But I think Oliveira is so big for him and for all-rounder fighter, and I think Oliveira will win this fight.
You think Oliveira's gonna win? I haven't heard a lot of people say that.
I think so. He is big. It depends how his performance will be in the fight, because sometimes he looks bad, but sometimes he looks fantastic. So I think that in the ground he will be much better for Ilia. Especially like the gabarit is much different. Oliveira is big guy, Ilia is small guy. So if Oliveira catch him in the ground, I think this is gonna be big problem. But like I say, Ilia can knock him out for him also, you know. So this is like 50-50, but I think Oliveira will win.
Vamos a empezar a hacer uno de los entrenamientos que menos me gusta hacer. 12 tramos de 100 metros. No eran 10. Siempre hay que dar 2 más. Tú nunca sabes lo que puede pasar en una pelea.
Man, look at this fight. I think of this fight stylistically. I think, okay, the explosive power and the power in the hands, and it's crazy to say that. You have to go with more of Ilia Topuria, right? Ilia Topuria goes high, low. He can go to the body. He can go up top. He's been knocking people out cold. That means Max Holloway, 2 future Hall of Famers he knocked out. None of those guys went championship rounds. We saw him one time at 155 pounds where he did get hurt against Burns, against Jai Herbert, but he got hurt, he got dropped, but the matador in him, he came back and he ended up knocking. Charles Oliveira is the bigger fighter. Charles Oliveira has fought the who's at 155 pounds. I mean, everything absolutely changes, man, with Charles Oliveira taking down Michael Chandler, with Charles Oliveira taking down Justin Gaethje with those beautiful double legs. But I will say this, when I think of this fight, I always think of the distance that Charles Oliveira brings, and particularly he likes to be in close. And the fact that he likes to be in close with an inside fighter, it doesn't make sense. That was one thing, the person that needs to make adjustments in this fight, typically you would say the lighter fighter, the smaller fighter going up, but not really. Charles Oliveira has been dropped by just about everybody that he's fought, from Chandler to Gaethje to Islam. I mean, what happens when you go up against a dude that's knocking people out, not TKOing people, knocking people out cold like Ilia Topuria? So when I'm looking at this fight, I'm saying Charles Oliveira is the guy that has to make those adjustments. If not, it's going to be the double champ. It's going to be Ilia Topuria securing himself as a 2-division world.
I would say Ilia Topuria, given everything that he's done in the sport, the confidence that he's shown, the manifestation, as the kids say, but bringing it all to a reality, knocking out everyone in his way, doing it in absolute style, hardly breaking a sweat, not having to fight through any adversity, not being the hammer and the nail. He's just been the hammer, just hammering his way through everyone. If he beats Charles Oliveira, which I would assume that he's going to be the favorite to do, and that's with absolutely no disrespect towards Charles Oliveira.
For Dana, Ilia Topuria did an interview a few minutes ago where he said the winner of this fight is going to determine whether he fights Islam Makhachev or Charles Oliveira on International Fight Week. Can you confirm that that's the stakes attached to this main event too?
Yeah, there's a lot of moving parts right now, and yeah, that's pretty accurate.
Charles Oliveira against Ilia Topuria I mean,
it's a good fight.
It's an unbelievable scrap.
Yeah, it's an unbelievable, but you think, unless Topuria does not look the same at 155, which is a possibility because they hit harder at 155. You know, there could be what if Charles is still there in the 3rd round, the 4th round? Ilia can't get him out of there. Then it becomes
2, I would say, top 5 pound for pound dressers.
Yeah,
UFC.
Absolutely. Well, it's so interesting, right? Because, you know, sometimes you can tell a lot about someone, the way that they dress a little bit. And you have Charles Oliveira, who, is very flashy. He'll certainly be the more colorful guy in the suit. He always comes with like a green or a red or something wild. Hair dyed, all that stuff. And then Ilia Topuria kind of like, your clean, kind of normal type suits, but everything, really well done.
I'm having a hard time getting Ilia in there with Islam. And Islam's entire situation, or his entire argument is, I've done this not just once, I've done this twice, it's everything to gain for you, and I have nothing. When the reality is, this should be the undisputed champion versus the BMF champion. That's what this should be. Ilia Topuria should be right now the BMF champion. And it's not the first time the mistake has been made to walk a BMF champion out there.
And everyone started yelling, the kids screaming and all that. Training had just ended and so on. I grabbed the phone, saw thousands of messages, went straight to Diego. That's it. Let's go. We're ready. 46 days. 46 days for this belt to return where it never should have left. We'll focus on what matters, stay sharp, and make it happen. I'm not fixated on their moves, but on what we can bring and take. My team will map out Tupula so we can plan